We're here at the 2022 Gator Cutlery Club show in Lakeland, Florida, and I want to talk about why it's so interesting to collect switchblades. You can collect switchblade knives on a wide budget, ranging from very, very little money on up to some very rare and expensive knives. Here, for example, is a selection of very inexpensive antique American-made switchblades, 1950s types. And here are two examples of some old Italian-made knives. And these range in value from $50 to $100, something like that. Whereas these particular antique Italian knives go as high as $3,000. This is a La Vespa flat guard, very early Italian-made knife. This is an unmarked flat guard, substantially less expensive, but still quite valuable. Whereas other antique pick locks are still available and wide and highly collected. There are a lot of people who collect these knives. Here at the Gator Cutlery Club show, we've tried to promote an interest in these kinds of knives. We don't regard them as weapons at all. They're pieces of art and antique tools. The hysteria created in the 1950s by the various movies that featured these knives as weapons put a pall on collecting these knives for a long time, but now the interest is resurging, and many states are passing laws that allow buying, selling, and collecting these knives, and I'm very pleased about that.
So, what do collectors look for?
I was talking with some friends the other day that I have collectors that one guy's criteria was, I want knives with different colored handles under $50, and that's a legitimate collection. On the other hand, I have friends who collect knives, every one of which is worth in excess of $1,000, and some of them up into the many thousands of dollars. So there are American knife collectors, Italian knife collectors, Spanish, German, specialty knife collectors. So the variety is so great that anyone can get involved at any level and have an enjoyable collection. I look on YouTube from time to time and have people go through their collections, which vary greatly. And the interest in these knives seems to be growing all the time.
I know you've been selling off a lot of knives today. What do you have left? What are some of the price ranges you got?
If a parent comes by, for example, these guys, if a parent comes by, I'll give him a couple of knives if he's inclined to take them.
Like what are these going down here?
This knife is valued at about $3,000 because it's a very desirable tang stamp, an unusual blade grind, and what have you. This knife currently is valued in the $1,000 neighborhood, unmarked, but still an old classic Italian. And these range from $400 to $400 to $600 for not perfect.
Well, these look very similar.
Yeah, they are all similar. And by the way, here's a knife. Let me put that knife right in there. One of those knives is worth $10. So you need to be pretty knowledgeable and know what to look for. That's a Chinese knockoff of this classic design.
Well, that's some beautiful bone on there, horn on there.
Yeah, cow horn, buffalo. We call it buffalo horn. It's cow horn, and that makes it more desirable. This thing is plastic.
As they age, they get a little different.
The patina does. You can recognize old horn because it does change color as time goes on.
And what about stag? Is that more?
Stag is very desirable. It's not as common, and typically will add value to a knife.
And what about the where they come from? Does it matter what city they're made in or anything?
Well, almost all the classic Italian style is almost exclusively made in Maniago, Italy. Some were made in Frosciolone, Italy, to the same pattern, but almost exclusively they're made there. The classic Italians.
And the more modern switchblades, the ones after 1960, are they becoming collectible or?
Yes, their value is slightly increasing, but they've been making so many of them, and they're so readily available that the price hasn't gone up very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you a lot, Brad. Have a
You're
great
welcome.
show.
Thank you. We
All
really
right.
appreciate it.